Mr Shorten, Australians don't want equivocation from their leaders. If you truly believe that climate change is an urgent crisis that we need to address, can you, without equivocation and with the full knowledge that it may affect the Labor vote in Far North Queensland, denounce the proposed Adani coal mine as a polluting relic that does not belong in a modern Australia which is transitioning to renewables?
No. What I'm going to do is adhere to the science, adhere to the law, going to make sure that we don't have sovereign risk. There is no doubt in my mind that we're moving to more renewables. There's no doubt in my mind that coal-fired power is getting more expensive and renewables are getting cheaper. But at the end of the day, we have to have a framework of laws. We have to have a framework for investment. So, as much as some people would like me to just say, just stop it, I'm not going to say that because we've got to have a system so we don't incur sovereign risk. So that isn't the answer you want to hear, but if it's any consolation to you more generally, I accept that we need to take a lot more action than this government's taking on climate change. I accept that we're going to see change, but what I can't say to you is that we're going to stop using fossil fuels in our energy mix, and I'm certainly not going to say that we're going to stop exporting, because that's not a realistic promise. There's no way I can deliver that, so I'm not going to say that.
Let me ask you this. Are you worried that if you say anything definitive about Adani, the CFMEU could hand Scott Morrison the kind of photo op that they handed John Howard back in 2014, which effectively undid Mark Latham?
No, I'm not worried about that, no.
Why not?
Because I'm not. Because there's other issues. I've got plenty to put to the people of Australia.
That is a potential threat, though, isn't it? I mean,
well, I love this. This government says somehow that unless you support every mining project, you know, without checking it out and without doing the science, that you're anti-miner. I've represented more miners than this government ever will. This is a government who does nothing about casualisation or labour hire. Like I say to people in central Queensland, I'm not going to incur sovereign risk. But this argument that somehow this top-end-of-town government, who's deregulated the labour market, casualised the labour market, undermined wages and conditions, they're not the friend of working-class people in this country getting any part. And, you know, no matter what dog whistle the government does, I've got an argument to put to workers around this country, full stop. And that's going to be that we'll get your wages moving again. So I think this government is virtue signalling on one issue just to try and scare people from ignoring their economic interest on a range of other matters.
All right, next question. We've got